Hey, good morning and welcome to Hobby Evolution episode 156. Happy Sunday. Not too much to talk about today. I get some mail yet? I did get some mail yesterday. The three incomplete sets I bought from eBay of NBA Hoops premium stock. Um, it was it was a listing that I had kind of kept my eye on. It was listed at $250 or best offer. Um, and it said it had an average of like 31 cards taken out. So I kind of did the math, figuring, the top players and the top rookies are obviously out of this. They were going to include some color pulsars as well. I had an eBay gift card and I tossed out an offer of 160 and it was almost immediately accepted. So I was happy with that. It did arrive yesterday. So I sleeved and still in the middle. I'm almost done sorting. That's what I was doing last night as I was watching Dan KBO Collections and George. George is KBO Collections, Dan is Korean Cardboard. So they had their chat on KBO Collections YouTube channel. Was watching that last night as I sleeved and sorted my mail day. So I had bought I bought four at retail price. I bought three complete sets so retail was 150, and then I bought three more off eBay, and I think my price per was like 230, which was a great deal. Now they're upwards of 300. So I'm out at this point. So now it's piecing out and selling the individual cards. Herman, good morning. Good morning, Zach. What's happening, guys? So sleeved and sorted the premium stock. Did not receive any Cubs mail. So the count is 525, 912. So my plan today is one of my goals for 2021 for the project is to be a little more organized with my tracking spreadsheet. So I keep a spreadsheet for each year. 2019 is when I started it, and then 2020. So I track what I receive in the mail, who it's from, where they're from, and what they want. And I've been a little disorganized at times because if there's not a note in the box, if it's somebody, say it's a first time trader I'm not familiar with, I have to go back and search through messages. So it can be a little time consuming on that end. So I'm going to try to keep a better track of who's sending what. And then also putting the address in that database, so I don't have to go back and a week later, hey, can you shoot me your address? So obviously the multi-time traders, I know exactly what they're looking for and what they want, but some of the first time traders, it's a little more difficult. So I want to keep a better track of organizing that in the spreadsheet that I have. So I need to create that spreadsheet at some point today. Also today, I want to publish another blog post. I'm working on the coffee and cards trade. I just need to finish up the card section on that. And then I'm also going to do a blog post on why I feel 2021 is going to be an even bigger year in the hobby. So I was in bed last night and it kind of came to me. So I just started typing the first paragraph just so I wouldn't forget. So that's in the works. And then I also want to put down the hobby goals for 2021 as well. So put those on paper as well. So that's the plan. Doing some more sorting. I started my variation list. Well, I'm into the variation listings. I love variation listings for especially for basketball, because a lot of like the Prism stuff sells, but I don't want to list a bunch of 99-cent singles, say 100, 99-cent singles when I could just boom one variation listing. They are a little more time consuming, but compared to listing 100 different items, it's much quicker to do a variation. So I've begun typing out, and basically what I did is I printed out the checklist. This is for premium stock NBA hoops, because I'm like a lot of the commons I have, 9 or 10 of the commons, so I'll just list them in bulk on the variation. I'm holding back all the rookies. The top end rookies I'm auctioning off. And here's one thing that I'll make a comment on as far as eBay, and I've seen and I've commented on buyers not paying, and I've never had really an issue with that because 95% of what I sell is buy it now. Now I've been running a lot of auctions lately just to try to pump up, try to bring in extra traffic through those auctions. And yes, it's very frustrating. I've had to open up, I think in the last 2 weeks, I've had to open up like 6 non-pay claims, and I'm really lenient. Like I give people a week usually or more. I think the first one I opened, it was like 2 weeks before I'll usually send, if I notice it's getting to be like a week, I'll send out a reminder. One of my Zion Williamson sold and it hasn't been paid for. I waited until last night because eBay bucks were released yesterday. I thought maybe they were just non-communicative and they would pay when eBay bucks are released, and nothing. So I just opened up a non-pay claim on them, and I think their username was something fart something. So as soon as I saw the winning bid and their username was fart, I'm thinking, oh, this is probably going to be a non-pay, and it looks like it's going to be. So I do get the frustration. It lies with auctions, and yes, I am getting a ton of non-payment. I had to send several refunds yesterday, just sent another one this morning for people haven't been receiving the mail. It's been weeks. And I'm just boom, a couple of weeks ago, at the, kind of the height of people not receiving mail, right before Christmas, I was just messaging, hey, give it a couple more days. Now it's like, you know what? I'm just clicking. If they open up a claim, I just click refund. If they ask, I just click the refund. It's past the time of waiting, in my opinion. So just taking the L's on some of those, and hopefully they start shaking loose. I still have one package myself. The last tracking was December 14th. I've opened up a lost mail claim on that, some Ed Howard cards. So yeah, the post, the post office backup is getting really frustrating at this point. And I think I jinxed myself, last week or 2 weeks ago when I said I was surprised that I hadn't received as many non-receipt claims that I had, and now it's all catching up to me. So yeah, he was an eBay troll. And I think it's one of those, I always get nervous on hot players like that, Zion, Ja, on the basketball front, trying to boost up sales for their own benefit, or, just really frustrating. I freaking hate it. So I think I'm going to be more proactive in finding the non-payers on forums so I can just block them. I did that last week. I saw some people reported them on like the eBay naughty list on Twitter, and I just, it's like, I don't want them, especially the same, similar cards to what I'm auctioning off right now, like the Zion Williamson rookies, the Ja Morant rookies. I don't want to deal with it, so I'm just going to insta block some of those non-payers. So that bow I bought from Bo better arrive with no issues, or I will go medieval. Yeah, thank you, Zach. I just listed that a couple nights ago. I found it. I have a couple stacks right beside me. I don't know where the stacks, how why they're here. They've been here for a while, and I was looking for, usually like right here is where I keep my cards for trade. So like I've got some Oakland A's for Lee that I was adamantly going to get these out on Saturday, and I didn't. So I apologize, Lee. So I've got some A's, some other stuff that I know, like for Jenny, I've always got some Miguel Sano's that I keep over here. Ryan McMahon for my buddy Andy, and just other like trades that are in the works. And if I buy a blaster, it's like, oh, I know I can use this for a trade. So I set those here. So I had these cards, and a lot of them are commons, so I don't know why, but I've got like some Larry Walker rookies, Randy Johnson rookie, some other random heritage minors. There's a Greg Vaughn. There's a Pete Rose. Here's a Ryan McMahon. So yeah, some of it's random. Like I have a Bob Welch rookie card, but I think I put this in this pile because it's got a big scuff. It's got a big scuff. So I pulled it. I was listing Bob Welch cards. I saw this one had a scuff, so I set it aside. Then there's a bunch of like a whole stack. Look at this. I have no idea why I have these. A whole stack of 1978 Topps checklists. I have no idea why those are all there. So yeah, just a random stack of cards. So I was going through that, and I think I was pulling some cards for a trade. And I saw those Bo Jacksons, and I'm thinking, oh, those might sell on eBay, and they did. Zach had a sweet mail day yesterday. Everything showed up at once. 4 PWEs from Sport Lots made my day awesome. Those are fun. Like it's annoying waiting for mail, like if it's been a long time, but then when it all comes at once, it's like Christmas morning all over again. Got some 67 and 74 Braves I need for my binder and my card from Bo. Speaking of that, I've got, let me go through, because I have only half of, so what I have listed is only like half of what I have for 67 and 74. I've got another box of 67s, that came from an auction recently. So I've got some more. And then I got 74s from like 300 to 660. I have a box. Hang on. So this box, I guess there's only a small pile. Oh, that's cool. Elio White Sox card. So this was a box I bought from an auction last month. And I got these 67s for, I can't remember what I paid for them, but it's like it was a star lot. So there's a Curt Flood, Willie Stargell, Don Clendenon, Cardinals rookies. Should set that aside for George. Mel Queen. Oh, here's a Cub. So I haven't even sorted. I got to put that aside. Haven't even sorted these out yet. Here's a Harmon Killebrew. Bob Allison. Here's a Gaylord Perry. Another Cub I need to pull. Randy Hundley. Here's a Pirates. Luke Skywalker. Actually, it's just Luke Walker, but let's see. Oh, sweet. Here's a Braves rookies. Charlie Vaughn and Cecil Upshaw. Commons. Oh, a couple Byron Brown. I actually met him. He was at spring training with Fergie Jenkins and Gary Matthews, those guys. I think we got him a beer because I was with my buddy Stu from Club 400, and I think maybe it was Gary Matthews. One of the guys wanted a beer, so we went and got him a beer. Ken Holtzman, Cub card. I love the background on that Orioles team card. That's really cool. Jose Cardinal. He was a great Cub. Walt Alston, Manny Mota, another Cub. Glenn Beckert. So So it looks like that's the only Brave. Here's a Wilbur Wood, couple White Sox in here, Zach. Wilbur Wood and Hoyt Wilhelm and Bill White. So those I still need to get listed. So maybe that's how these cards get there, because then I put those on a pile right there. So just started the 67 and 74, so I know I'll need that one. Okay, awesome. So yeah, I'll get those posted. And then I've got some 74s. For some reason, I've got a ton of 74s. The auction from that 67 that I bought it was like an 800 count box of 74s. And then I had a bunch of 74s, I think from the last collection that I got from the guy from the big Craigslist collection that I post about on my website. So he reached out to me, texted me a couple months ago and said, "Hey, I've got another small collection. I've been watching." He's like, "I'm kind of kicking myself on some of the stuff that I let go." So he kind of got back into it over the pandemic. So he's kind of picking things out to grade. But he had a lot of like old football. There was, a couple rows of Packers stuff that I don't want, but I throw it up on eBay. And then there was some, like he said, he doesn't know anything about football or basketball. So there was some decent stuff. A lot of it was dollar stuff. And I think he said he bought it from like a card shop. And it was a lot of like the autos, and I have those here because I know they're still in top loaders. So a lot of it was stuff you'll find in dollar boxes. So TJ Rivera, auto from Topps Inception, number to 299. This must have been a redemption. James Jones Stadium Club auto. I've never even heard of the guy. Kyle Wright, Team USA. This was pretty cool. Mike Ditka, and it's numbered to 50. Sammy Watkins jersey. So there was a lot of jersey relics. Some dollar autos, Jarlin Garcia contenders, Corral Prime contenders. So there was nothing big, but it was volume, and I got a good deal on it. Thoughts on the Bears game? I'm thinking our best shot of making the playoffs is an Arizona loss. Yeah, I am not optimistic. And when it came down to like we need to beat the Packers, it's like this is like textbook Chicago Bears. Textbook New York Jets in 2020, textbook Chicago Bears in 2020. You start off super hot, win 6 games in a row. You're 6-1. Wow, we're good. We're going to make the playoffs. And then you lose 6 in a row. And you're in that like you're middle of the road, like the Chicago Bulls for so many years. They were bad, but they weren't bad enough to get like a lottery pick or a top 5 pick, lottery pick. They were just in that like dead zone. Like we're going to get the 18th pick in the draft or whatever. So that's what the Bears and football hell. Yeah, that's what it is. Football hell. So they're like a 9-7, 8-8, 7-9, right in there where you're middle of the pack. You're going to get like pick 16 through 21. And all of a sudden they burst off a couple more wins and they're on playoff fringe. But it all comes down to the Packers game, your arch rival, and you're not going to win. The Bears aren't going to beat the Packers. And they're going to be relegated to football hell. They're going to miss the playoffs, and they're going to finish 8-8, 7-9, 8-8, 9-7. One of those, I can't remember their record, but they're going to finish right around 500, and they're going to get the 17th pick, 18th pick. So they're not going to get a top 5. There's going to be 4 quarterbacks that are likely taken before the Bears unless they trade up. But now Mitch Trubisky's showing some glimpses of hope, and it's probably enough for him to stick around. The Bears, won't draft a quarterback, and then next year they're just going to super suck. And they probably will get, one of those top picks for a quarterback when next year's draft probably won't be as good as this year's. So it's kind of like the Jets. Yeah, the Jets, like, they're like super bad. They're a super terrible team, but there's a team that's just a little more super bad than them, and that's the Jacksonville Jaguars. So they absolutely suck, but they still lose. But they suck so much that they sucked themselves out of the best quarterback to come out of the draft in several years and the number one overall pick. And so they're going to be relegated to number 2. So the Jets are going to Jets. The Bears are going to Bears. They're likely going to lose to the Packers today, miss out on the playoffs, get a middle of the road pick. They're going to take some random lineman, linebacker, whatever. Maybe, a decent starter, maybe average, who knows. But they're in football hell, just like Zach said, football hell. The Marvin Lewis Bengals or the Jeff Fisher Rams. Yeah. Thankful for the Chiefs getting over the hump. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Matt? Yeah, the Chiefs, I'm a little jealous. Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City. I was actually a Chiefs fan. So I've always been a Bears fan, but I've always kind of had like a second team that I was a fan of, and I would kind of wear their gear. And it was more like, now I'm pretty much all Bears. I don't really have a secondary team anymore. But when I was a kid, I always had secondary teams, and it was usually based on like color had a lot to do with it. Back in like the early 90s, black and gold was cool. Black and silver was like awesome. Black and red. So I think I talked earlier in a previous episode about the Rams. I had a neighbor who was a Los Angeles Rams fan. They moved to St. Louis and trained just an hour and a half away from where I grew up. So I would go to Rams training camp, and I became a huge Rams fan in the mid to late 90s. And they sucked. And then they won the Super Bowl. So that was fun. I was a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and I can't remember when it was, but I think I had a Kansas City Chiefs hoodie. And I remember I got a Kansas City Chiefs stocking hat, but I think it's because I think I got the Kansas City Chiefs stocking hat in Kansas City when I was, get this, in the FFA, and I went to the national convention at Kemper Arena in Kansas City. Would have been, I think, 1995 or 1996. Yeah, I had to wear the blue corduroy FFA jacket. So yeah, went from Cowboys to Packers to no one. I was never a Packers fan. I was never a Cowboys fan. I always rooted for like the Buffalo Bills when they were in the Super Bowl, but I was never a Bills fan. I was a 49ers fan in the late 80s with Joe Montana. And who else was I? That was pretty much it. 49ers, Saints. I was a Saints fan because I liked their colors. 49ers, Saints, Chiefs, Rams was pretty much my secondary teams. Future flippers of America. That's right. So that article that I posted yesterday has like crushed my website records. Like it gained more views, more unique visitors yesterday than I had the entire months of September, October. And then today it's like twice as many visitors as yesterday. I'm like watching the analytics on my website. It hit some Google algorithm. And it's been crazy. Cubs and Bears were my secondary teams after my first trip to Chicago in '83. Could never bring myself to watch the White Hose since I've always been a Royals fan. Yeah, I kind of get that. I was never a fan of any team in the division. I'm trying to think. For football, never. I was never a Vikings. I always hated the Vikings. I've come around to them because I've got a couple close friends that are from Minnesota, big Vikings fans. I went to their training camp a few years ago in Mankato, and it was fun. So I don't hate them as much anymore. I hate the Packers. I feel sorry for the Lions. And one of my best friends growing up He was a huge Lions fan, still is. We still trade, actually. I still trade him Barry Sanders and Larry Johnson cards, and he saves all his Cubs for me. So I just feel bad because it seems like they always get the short end of the stick. So I would root for the Lions if they made the playoffs, and I have. Baseball, never. Like, I've never had a secondary baseball team. It's always been Cubs. Never had a secondary baseball team. Basketball, it's been all over the place. I've had several favorite teams in basketball. Kemper Arena has changed quite a bit. Is Kemper Arena still there? I haven't been to Kansas City. Kansas City, first of all, is an awesome town. When I worked at Western Illinois, UMKC was in our league. So we would go to Kansas City every year. I always looked forward to it because some of the other trips were North Dakota, South Dakota. So I looked forward to Kansas City and Indianapolis trips. Not as much Detroit. But the barbecue is amazing. One year, we stayed, I can't remember the district it's called. It's kind of a shopping district. There's like some like, my wife would love it there. Some higher end shops. And we stayed near there. But the most recent time we went, the last time I went, we stayed at the Marriott downtown, which was right next to everything, which was awesome. And the Kansas Jayhawks were in town. They played a non-conference game at the Sprint Center against, I think it was Oregon State. So me and one of the other guys on the trip, it was the night before our game. Once we got done with everything, we went down there and bought tickets from a scalper, my first ticket scalping experience, and watched the Jayhawks. So that was pretty cool. I love Kansas City. Oh, and then after the game, we went down to the Power and Light District, which was super cool. And I think we stayed out till like 4 a.m. So fortunately, it was like a 2 p.m. tip off. So I was able to sleep in a little bit. But yeah, Kansas City was a fun town. Porter is all in on the Chiefs. If the Bears don't make it, I'll probably root for the Chiefs. Like the Chiefs. Notice you have posts come out all hours of the night. Do you use scheduled posting? Yes, I do. So I use Buffer. It's a scheduling. My wife turned me on to this. My wife does a ton of social media through Facebook, LinkedIn, some Twitter, but not as much, Instagram. So she turned me on to Buffer. You can download it. It's free. And you can get like, I think 6 posts on the free. So I started out on the free side. So you can schedule 6 posts at a time. So I was noticing I could get some web traffic in the overnight hours. But obviously I'm sleeping. So I couldn't manually post stuff. And I felt like I was missing out on an audience, and it's probably a small audience. But I'm missing out on, some audience, maybe third shifters that, are monitoring Twitter. So I was using those 6 free posts to do the overnight, 11, I would, every hour or every 2 hours. And then I noticed how much additional analytics I was getting from Twitter and additional web traffic. So then I went to, I think it's like $12 a month for, I think it's unlimited to me, but I think there is a limit. Like, I think it's 100 for like $12 a month. You get 100 posts at a time. So like if you schedule 100 posts right now, and then like say in 6 hours, 5 of those have come and gone, like you can post another, if there's 95, you can post another 5 more. So it's not like a limit. It's not a monthly limit. It's just at a time. You can schedule 100 posts, and you can use it for Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Right now, I've just been using it for Twitter because I haven't really, I need to get into Facebook more. I do some Facebook advertising to get some visits to the website, but I haven't dabbled in. I have a Facebook, 1 Million Cubs Project is on Facebook, but I really haven't done much with it. I'll post, new blog posts and all that. But yes, I do use Buffer. It's really cool. And if you're just casual about it, you can download it free and hook it up and do 6 posts at a time. I did that for several months, and then I decided to do the subscription side. It still stands, put a floor in it about halfway up the arena, and now it's a 2-level youth sports facility. Oh, that's awesome. The Plaza, that's what it was, the Plaza. A game and barbecue, heck yeah. Hootsuite is something that I haven't tried lately. Can you schedule tweets? I don't know if you can you schedule on Hootsuite? I actually just had this conversation with Ken. He was asking about scheduled posts. Could have shopped at Zona Rosa out towards the airport, or the Legends out west by the NASCAR track. I think it's the Plaza. Is the Plaza like a shopping district? I feel like that's what it was called. There was a Marriott like just up the road, and then we walked down because we ate at like a burger restaurant. There was I think there might have been a Cheesecake Factory down there, because I think we had a Cheesecake Factory for lunch one day. After the game, we went down and had it was a burger joint, and I think it was like we had to walk downstairs, maybe in like a basement. I remember the fries came in like a miniature shopping cart. The burgers were amazing. And that was in that area too. Plaza is just south of downtown. So yeah, we were not close to downtown. I don't think anyway. At least we didn't walk. Everything had to be within like pretty short walking distance. But Plaza sounds really familiar. I'll have to look that up. And I think I took some pictures of that restaurant we were at. That is where the Cheesecake Factory. Okay, so yeah, that's where we were at. Because we had Cheesecake Factory one day for lunch. We had that burger joint. And then I think we did walk to the barbecue. What's the barbecue? So yeah, if it was 2 miles, yeah, okay, that makes sense because we wouldn't have walked 2 miles. I think that year we also walked down to one of the barbecue Gates. I think it was Gates Barbecue. But that wasn't Jack Stack. I think it was Gates. We walked down there, and it was kind of a long walk, I think. But I don't remember if that was. I don't know if we went 3 years or 2. We went 2 years for sure. It was Gates Barbecue, and I'm not sure if we stayed there. But yeah, Kansas City, awesome town. So yeah, so that's what I had for today. Thanks for chatting. Gonna watch some football today. Hopefully the Bears don't blow it. Watch some football, get the variation listings posted. And do some more shipping. So thanks for chatting today. Thanks for watching, and have a great Sunday. And I'll be back tomorrow.